All right. Hello, everyone. How y'all doing today? Hope you're all having a great Friday. This is the August stream. August Ask Me Anything. This is 4 months in a row we've done this now. This is the best streak we've ever had. Hope to continue doing these. Glad to see you all. Hope you're doing well. Have a good week. We're going to be talking some Warzone today. We're going to be going over all the stuff that was added in the recent 2 updates, since it's been 2 updates since I've done a stream. And we're going to be talking about all sorts of stuff. And I'm going to be here answering any questions you guys have. And towards the end of the stream, I'll go over all the questions that were asked in this thread by all the people that couldn't be here today. But before that, we're going to start doing updates. And just as we go, I will be answering any questions in the stream. But before we get started, I always just like to introduce myself, just in case there's anyone out there that isn't a regular watcher, doesn't know what's going on here. So my name is Fizzer. I am the developer of the game Warzone. I've been making this game for, 16 years now? Basically, the majority of my life has been dedicated to this game. Love this game. Thank you so much. Thank you, MCLWHMR2, if that is your real name. Thanks for your kind words. I'm glad you enjoy the game. So I've been making this game since 2008. It's basically the majority of my adult life, and it's basically all I do. And I hope to continue working on this game the rest of my life. So yeah, let's get into it. So there have been 2 updates since the last stream. The update that just dropped this week is 5.29. This update was all about adding features that you guys requested on the new feature request forum. This was a forum we talked about in a previous stream. Basically, our old system of feature requests, which was called user voice, shut down. Well, it didn't really shut down, but they went from being free to charging tens of thousands of dollars. So we basically now have a new forum where people can request features, and this week's update was all about implementing a whole bunch of features that you guys asked for. So we'll get into what all those are and what all that was added. Before we talk about that, we'll actually talk about this update 5.28 from a few weeks ago, or a couple weeks ago. This is the new video generator. So there is, when you finish a Warzone Classic game, I'm sure you guys have seen this, most of the people, you know what I'm talking about. But when you finish a Warzone Classic game, there's a little button that says export to YouTube. This feature has actually existed for quite a while, but in the past it really sucked, to be honest. It made very poor quality videos, and it's been something I've been wanting to upgrade for years, in fact, but it was never really a very high priority. But I finally got around to doing it, so I completely rebuilt the way this feature works behind the scenes. So on the surface, from you guys' perspective, it probably doesn't look too different, although there's some more settings and stuff you have control of now. All built on AWS or hybrid. So we're actually hosted on the Linode. We used to be on AWS many years ago, but then we moved to Linode because it was cheaper. The music makes it hard to understand. I'll turn the music down. Tell me if that's better, if that's still a problem. Yeah, so export to YouTube. This is a feature that was actually requested by the community many years ago. We actually held a tournament. This is the one time in history that there was like a tournament to determine what feature got implemented next. And I think it was a player by the name of Master Disaster, if I remember correctly, won that tournament. And he was able to choose what feature got implemented next. And he chose export to YouTube. And so that's how that feature first got made. This was a long time ago. But honestly, the videos it made sucked, and they were also very low quality. So yeah, now it's all new. It makes videos that are much higher quality and much better in basically every way. It also makes videos much faster, which is nice. So the way it works now the way it worked in the old version was very simple. It just made an image out of every turn of the game and then assembled those images into a video. And now it actually renders the game in the Warzone engine. And it usually only takes 20-30 seconds to make a video. It's actually much faster, whereas before it took like 10 plus minutes, and it failed a lot too back in the day. Like, it kept giving people errors, and it was a big problem. You can see right now I just made a video. That's all it did, and it does take a second for YouTube process it. You might have to click refresh a couple times. Refresh, refresh. Come on, I'm trying to show off the video. Oh boy, we have an announcement in the video. Well, okay. That's a bug. I'm gonna get that fixed. This is the first time this bug has ever been seen. This is the first time I've done an announcement since we created this feature. And yeah, that should not be there. Okay, don't try exporting a game to a YouTube video during the stream. So yeah, as I was saying, I mean, that's a great way to demonstrate the point I was trying to make, which is the videos use the actual game engine. Let me say it another way. It uses the actual game engine to make the video. And because of that, it even like popped up an announcement window in the middle of the video, which is not supposed to be there. I will get that fixed. But yeah, normally it would produce a video that looks something like this. And you can put text at the top, and then it actually shows the attacks, which is something that it didn't do in the old version of it. Like it would just, you can see there's actual animations and stuff happening. So yeah, that's the new video generator. And you have the option of like speaking text with text to speech and all sorts of other stuff. Apart from that, this update, the 5.20 update from a couple weeks ago, I don't know if there's anything else noticeable in it. I think it was mostly just fixes and little things. I don't know if there's anything of note that I need to describe. So yeah, that was a pretty quick one. But then we have the update from just a few days ago, 5.29. This is a much bigger update. It contains a lot more stuff. So as I was mentioning before, this update is all about adding things that people voted on the feature request forum. So if you don't know what this forum is, this is a place where you can actually vote on what features you want me to implement into Warzone next. So you can come in here and you can see there's already quite a lot of features, but you're also welcome to create your own. Or you can come into any of these and vote. Either up to 3 votes per idea you are allowed to put. And you can unlock votes based on your level in Warzone. You can see right now I have 10 votes. I think 10 is the maximum you can get. No, actually I think you can get to 11 if you're super high level. Because I am only level 64. I think you get another vote at like 65 or 66 or something like that. Is where you get the very last vote. Gets you up to 11. So yeah, feel free to come in here and vote. So if you change this to completed ideas, you can see there's already a whole bunch that have been completed now. Most of these are just completed now in this update. We're going to go through them here in the blog post. Also, upcoming clan changes were announced. We'll talk about that. We'll come back to that after we talk through all the new updates. So, new premium colors available to purchase. This was something that people asked for. Where was it? Premium colors right here. This was requested by, wait, what happened? Am I on page 2? Why am I on page 2? It's weird. Why did it take me to page 2? This is requested by Z, the player, who just goes by the letter Z. He requested that more premium colors be added, and indeed, the new premium colors that he requested are now added. And you can see them here. We have Rainforest, Mahogany, Cinnamon, and Goldenrod. So you can see here they're all 1,600 coins. So if that's something that interests you, they were requested, and so they are added. Another thing we added was links to features you've voted on in player profiles. What this is you can come down here to anybody's profile and you can actually see what they're voted on. It's just kind of an interesting thing. If you see someone in the community, you're interested in knowing what they are requesting Warzone to add. You could already see that data on the forum, but it was not indexed by player, so you wouldn't be able to tell what a specific player voted for unless you like searched every thread. Now you can just go to their profile and see what they voted for. Added option for map designers to exclude bonuses. Okay, so this is, if you are a map designer, if you're not a map designer, this won't make a lot of sense to you, but if you've ever made a Warzone map, you now have the option for any individual bonus. There's this new checkbox right here that wasn't here before color territory stroke. So basically, you can determine, you can see whenever you assign a bonus, all the territories around it get that color. So like this bonus, which is, hold on, let's go to bonus. I actually know where it is. This bonus has like a red color. And if I change it to blue, you can see all the territory strokes change to blue for that bonus. You now have the option of just unchecking that box, which means they won't get a color, which for some reason didn't take effect. Why did that not take effect? I think it's not refreshing properly, but if I save that and refresh. Okay, so that was another bug, but you can see now the territory is not blue. So this is really useful for cases where you have overlapping bonuses and you want one bonus to take effect as its color and then another bonus to not take effect. That's really where that's intended. This has probably been asked before. Have you considered adding Rise of Rome to Clan Wars? It would probably increase the clan popularity. We do need to do something about new templates in Clan Wars. I don't know exactly how to do that, but I think some sort of vote. I don't think I'm just going to go ahead and like add Rise of Rome. I think it would be like a voting situation. We have done it before, but it's been quite a while since we allowed new templates into Clan Wars. But I am open to open up Clan Wars templates to voting. And if Rise of Rome is the one that wins, then sure, it will be allowed in. But I can't guarantee it will be the one that wins. You will have to vote. Will the new updates make all clans equal regarding clan size for community building? No, not all clans are going to be equal. Clans are going to respect what they were purchased by, because when clans were purchased, they were advertised as having certain features, and I don't like to take away something that somebody paid for. We'll talk more about Clan Wars in a minute, but first we're going to go through the change log here. So yeah, we talked about that. If a territory, and this is again, these two are kind of related. This is a change to the way that the colors show up for map designers. Before it was just kind of picking a random bonus. Now it actually has logic to make sure it chooses a particular bonus. It'll choose the bonus with the fewest territories. This is what I'm talking about is if you have a territory that's assigned to two different bonuses, like if you have overlapping bonuses when you're making a map, and if each one has a different color, the game has to know which color to use when determining what color to show on that territory. It used to just kind of pick randomly, which was not a very good system. So now it actually is, it just picks the bonus with the fewest territories. And if you don't like that pick, then what you should do is you can go into the one and exclude them using this new checkbox. So that's why these two features are kind of added together. What we see now is new clans go to old clans. What we see now is all new clans goes to old clans. I don't know what you mean by a new clan going to an old clan. I don't know what it means for a clan to go to a clan. Doesn't this feel like a big failure? I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about when you say a clan goes to a clan. I did an explanation for clan icon on the player pop-up. So this is something that people asked for as well. Sure, this is fine. Wait, where is it? Oh, he's not in a clan. So when you click on someone's name here in the lower right corner, it now explains what this icon is. So there's this is supposed to list what all the icons next to your name mean, right? So it's like telling you what the member icon means. And it tells you what this little FF means. There's can be other icons that appear here as well as like AI and diplomacy and all sorts of stuff. So the idea is if you see something here in this lower right area that doesn't have an, and if you aren't sure what it means, like if you're a new player and you see a D here, well, what does the D mean? You click on it and it would be like, oh, D means diplomacy. This M means you're a member. This FF is your clan icon. This is also a faster way to get to the clan because you can just click on the clan right there. So it's a little faster. Another thing people asked for. When a new mod goes live, it's announced in the global chat room. This is another thing people asked for on the feature request form. Auto-announce mods coming public. Yeah. For people that hang out in the global chat room, they like to see like what's going on. So things get announced. They quit their old clan and moved new members to the old clans. Yeah, I mean, clans are always shifting around. That's something that's pretty much always happened. It's happened before clans had a cap too. Forums now display the last poster and last post date on the right if the screen is wide enough. Yeah, so this whole column over here in the right has been added in this update. And this is a page that also can be accessed by mobile, or rather I should say, this logic is duplicated from the mobile app. So there's some logic in there that says, oh, if you don't have enough horizontal space, don't display that. But if you're on like a big tablet, if you're on like a phone and you're looking at a vertical list, you don't really have room horizontally to display that. It will just omit it. But if you do have room, it displays it. You can see it's appearing and disappearing there. So that's what that is. Refactored the way idle integrates with the main Warzone app. Okay, so this is something that I've been wanting to do for a while as well. There were some weird things about the way idle integrated with the classic Warzone app. So in the past, there was an idle button. Let me see if I can pull up the standalone app so I can show this. Standalone. Run. Come on. Oh no, it's not working. The heck? Why is my standalone app not working? Live demos, right? Okay, well I can't get to work right now. But the bottom line is that idle is now just a tab on the main menu. Whereas before it used to be like a weird button that like when you click the button, it launched like the app, the idle app, which ended up being a bad experience. It was weirdness because like if you launched the idle app, you'd have to go back twice to get back to the main menu. And it was just weird, and it's cleaner integration now. This does have the downside that people who primarily play idle means the app will no longer start up directly in idle, and instead you have to start up on the main menu and click into idle. So it's one more click if idle is all you care about. But ultimately, I do think it's better that way. But hopefully, I'm interested in your opinion if you think this is bad. Will countries that there weren't enough active players have an achievement added to the country? Warzone gets a sufficient increase in players from that country. If yes, how often will you check for this? Probably only on demand. Like, I don't know, maybe in 3 years I'll revisit it if someone reminds me. It seems like a good amount of time. We'll talk more about the country achievements in a bit. We haven't gotten to that yet. This is cool that a whole tab appears and disappears. Not sure what you mean by that exactly. How big is the Warzone community in terms of actives? Seeing regularly the same faces and lots of features are buried quite deep in stuff like clans, I guess. It is bigger and growing all the time. I mean, it is big and growing all the time. Do you promote Warzone at gaming conferences? Do you host Warzone meetups? I do not. And I probably should do more work at promoting Warzone, to be honest. That's something that's kind of a failure on my part, is I spend most of my time just developing the product and not enough time marketing it. Someday I might switch and I might do more marketing. It's not something I personally enjoy. Like, I like building the game. But, yeah. I don't see my question appear on your screen, so I'll ask again. Is there any plan to be able to change the names of AI or your own name for roleplay purposes? So at the moment, the only place you can change the names of AI is in community levels. If you're making a level, like if you go to my levels and you edit one of these, you can like, how do you do it again? If you edit an AI, you can be like, I want this AI to be named blah, blah. And if you do that, you come down here, the AI is named blah, blah. And I'm not sure if you're talking about community levels or multiplayer games. Right now, there's no way to change the name of an AI in multiplayer game, but I'm not sure exactly which one you're referring to. What I'm trying to say is that new clans migrate all their members to old clans to become uncapped. That is their right. They have that. Is it not possible to start new? Is it not possible to start new and not feel you have a big disadvantage? So you shouldn't have any disadvantage in terms of like clan wars or anything. We're going to talk more about clan wars later, but clan wars today does not give you any advantage by having more than 40 members because it's capped at 40. That is going to be changing in the new update, so you should pay attention to the new update. And I suspect what you see will not happen in the new update, but that's just my guess. So this is kind of up in the air. So what we are changing clans and clan wars. So my prediction is that yes, what you say will no longer happen after the new update. So basically, my answer to you is yes, I believe it will be fixed, but ultimately, I can't stop people from moving one clan to another, and I wouldn't want to. That's just part of the system. So this isn't something I have direct control over. But I can't give you an answer like, yes, people won't move to a new clan. I can't prevent people from moving to a new clan. So I'm not sure exactly what you're saying. But I don't think it will happen as much after the new update. You meant for multiplayer games. Yeah. There's currently no way to rename AIs in multiplayer games. If that is something you're interested in, you're free to submit it to the feature request form. And if it gets enough votes, maybe it will happen. Okay, when an open game expires, so this is if you are creating an open game. So if you've come in here and you've created an open game, let's just go to open games. You all know what open games are. Games with open seats that anyone can join. They have an expiration time, which is different depending on if it's a real-time or multi-day game. I think if it's a multi-day game, it expires after like 12 hours or something like that, or 24 hours. I can't remember exactly what it is. Or is it 48 hours? I don't remember, but eventually the open games will expire. The reason open games expire, by the way, if you have never knew this, is basically sometimes people create undesirable games that are just really stupid and like nobody really wants to join them. And if you don't expire open games, then they end up just clogging up the list. We had this problem very early on when open games were like a new thing. Someone would create a good game and it would just fill immediately. And then someone would create like a dumb game and it would just sit there and nobody wanted to join it. And it ended up being a really bad experience for new users because new users would come here and they just see a bunch of dumb games and they join one, and then that would be their first experience of playing the game, and then they'd have a bad experience. And it wasn't a good look for the game, and it wasn't a good newbie experience. So the solution to that is if a game doesn't fill after a certain amount of time, we basically remove it from the list so that we don't get a big list of dumb games that nobody wants. Instead, it should be should always be fresh. But I understand that sometimes people start really big games. Like maybe this game is taking a while to fill. So the host can, if they're still interested in a game after it expires, there'll be a big blue box up here that says the open seats are no longer being advertised. Now, before this update, you could get around that if you knew how. There was a trick where if you click the Add Remove Players button and then you click Submit, it basically re-advertises your game. But not everyone knew that. So to make it more obvious how it works, today, if you get that blue box, there'll be a button that just clicks Re-advertise your open seats, renew your open seats. All you have to do is click that button and boom, you're back on. So it's a little easier, more self-explanatory. It's not something you couldn't do before. It's just something that is now easier to do and more understandable by new players. Not sure why you're watching this, but hi. Hey, how's it going? Everyone has the crazy music, which makes it hard to listen to, right? Not just me. Is the music too loud? It's really quiet in my ear. We want deep learning KI who is beating all of us. You mean AI? Do you get paid if I click on the ads on the web client, even if I don't make a purchase, or am I wasting my time? The ads do usually pay out per click, yes. That is most common. Music is all right. Good. Thank you for letting me know. Added achievements for defeating players from different countries or U.S. states. This is another thing that was asked for on the feature request form, which I closed. Countries. Yeah, this is asked for by all username. All usernames are taken. So this is whenever you beat someone, just like it used to say. You guys are familiar with the achievements of when you beat someone by level. Well, now we have defeated people by country. Where are they? Country. Oh, here we are. Defeat a player who plays from Belgium. Defeat a player who plays in France. These are just the ones I have happened to have earned in the last few days since we deployed the update. Well, I gotta go already. I do recommend that you change your user image here to the Warzone logo for easy public relations. Oh, on Twitch? I don't even know how you change your logo on Twitch. There's a logo on Twitch, I should say. Where is that even displayed? Because I don't see logos next to anyone's names in chat, but I guess maybe it's displayed somewhere else. Oh, like the big, like this logo? Oops, I guess I shouldn't have clicked on that. Crap. Is that the logo? Off stream, it's in settings. Okay, I'll try to remember to do that later. You listed the Netherlands alphabetically under T instead of N. That is true. Good observation. I did put all these countries in a text file and click sort by alphabet. I don't think it's a big deal. Oh, and because I know people will ask, the United States is broken out into states just because the United States is like half of the Warzone audience. So if there was only one achievement for defeating someone in the United States, it would just be like boring. So that's the only reason the United States is broken out. Probably the reason that there's so many United States players is because I never marketed this game, and mostly it spread word of mouth through me, just like telling my friends who told their friends who told their friends. That's how it grew in the early days. And also probably because it's an English-only game. Why is the country achievement for the Netherlands and just not Netherlands? That was the way it was entered in this database. I think this database came from MaxMind originally. Like, that's the tool we use to determine people's IP, to turn people's IP into countries. I think I just dumped their database. Is that wrong? Should it not be called the Netherlands? I guess not, huh? I don't know why they have the in front of it. What happens to Warzone in case you die? If I have a warning before I die, if I can see my death coming, which hopefully will be the case, I will probably just open source the thing. Just try to get it. Hopefully somebody picks it up and continues it. If I die suddenly, I don't know. I need to make a will or something that says what's going to happen to it. I think most of the European player base is from Flash game sites. Yeah, I think a lot of the original audience came from Flash game sites. I don't know where it came from these days. I've seen some American players where it doesn't specify which state they play from. It just says place in the United States, which you would get for defeating them. You would not get any achievement. If there's also some players will just say place from unknown, or I think it just doesn't even put the flag on their profile. There are some IPs that just don't resolve into countries for some reason. I'm not sure exactly why that happens. It's just something about our the IP database. And you just won't get an achievement for beating them. Any plans on using an AI in your development, maybe to help with that localization? No, I don't know. Maybe someday. I haven't been too impressed by the AI solutions that I've tried, but I haven't really sought them out and tried to use AI a lot. And just because this question comes up a lot, most of the work in localizing the game is not coming up with the strings. There's a lot of work you'd have to do in the app to make it localizable. Like, there's a lot of strings in a lot of places that have to be pulled out and looked up from a database, and you have to deal with like concatenating lists of things, like if you have X, comma, Y, comma, and Z. Like today the app just concatenates them together, like with commas and the word and so like you'd have to deal with how that goes through different languages. Please stop the music. Okay, well, I'm not going to stop the music because that's just weird, but I don't know why you want to stop the music. Sorry. When creating a tournament, you can have filters on templates by typing in their name. This is another thing that was asked for on the features request forum. You can create a tournament. When you're creating a tournament, thanks for answering some questions. Has been helpful. You're welcome. I'm glad you're finding it helpful. Some people have lots of templates, I guess. So when you're on this step, you now have a little filter up here where you can be like, I'm going to filter on this. And there you go. You have filters. So this little box right here is what was added. That's what's new. For people that have lots of templates and like that stuff. Where was I? Custom scenario games, the manual illustrations. Okay, so this is something that I am surprised has made it this long without getting reported to me. But somebody reported that there was a problem with manual distribution games. I think this is a bug that's legitimately been in the game for like over 10 years. So when you normally distribute, when you choose how a game has its distribution, you have the option of doing a normal distribution or a custom scenario. Custom scenario is like you can determine territory by territory exactly what armies, who starts where and with how many armies. When you use a normal distribution, you have an, oh boy, this looks bad. Why is this like this? Yeah, this is like the scroll bar is covering up these things, which is another bug, but so yeah, you can set how many armies start in the distribution and out of the distribution, and like you can set what distribution you're using, like the green territories are distributed to players. You can set how many armies are neutrals out of the distribution and how many armies are neutral in the distribution. That's kind of the normal way you set up a Warzone game. Now, the problem comes if you are doing players choose their starting position combined with a custom scenario. Sorry, wait. How does this work? This is if you're doing... Yeah. Players choose their starting position combined with custom scenario. So in this configuration, you're defining what territories people can pick, and it actually doesn't even matter what letter you use. So I can set up like that. And then I can... Right. And you're putting armies on each of them. So like you could say this one has 44 armies, and this one has 33 armies, and this one has 1 army, and this one has 5 armies. Previously, those numbers would have only been reflected if somebody picked that territory and got it. Which is already a problem because you can't even see those numbers when you're picking, but technically they are there. So if I pick, and I should have turned off fog. You can see these territories started with 44, 33. That one was 1 and 5. So basically the numbers are obeyed now, whereas before they weren't obeyed unless a player started with the territory. That's all it is. That's the bug fix. So it would basically ignore your numbers in territories that were not picked. So actually the bug here is this 1. This would have been a 2 in the previous update, and it's a 1 in this update because I set it to 1 on the previous screen. Yeah, so that's the bug fix. It's a very minor thing. I don't think many people use this setting, which is why it went like 10 years without being found. But I did a horrible job of explaining that. But hopefully you got the idea that the numbers were not being obeyed correctly when nobody picked them. So it's a minor thing. I don't think many people are going to notice that. But it is technically a bug. So that was fixed now because it finally got reported to me. You only found Warzone a few months ago and you love it. How did you get such a great domain name? How long have you had it? Thanks for your kind words. I'm glad you like the game. How did you find it? I'm always curious to know. How did you find Warzone? And how did you get a great domain name? How long have you had it? I think we bought it. Well, the answer is how did we get it? We just bought it. It was very expensive, but we did buy it. And I think we bought it in like 2015 or something like that. It used to be named Warlight, yes. So before it was named Warzone, it was named Warlight. Warzone is the sequel to Warlight. We should say it another way. Ever shipped a file with do not ship in its name? Yes. So what Kane Chin Power 12 is referring to is the old standalone client had these files in it that were like that said do not ship in their name, and yet I didn't even I had an automated process that was just compressing everything in the folder and shipping it. So I ended up shipping files with do not ship in the name. And that is also fixed in this 5.29 update. I'm quite sure I searched myself for online risk game a long time ago and found the game. Cool. Thanks for telling me. Okay, so this is another thing that's been, it's just a minor thing that helps new players understand what's going on. If you open an open game, usually when you open an open game, you get the lobby screen. However, if you happen to click on a game, the exact instant that it starts, like let's say you're clicking on a game that has only one open seat, and right as you click it, somebody joins the open seat, basically what you'll be left with is you will have that game open, except the entire map is fogged. And if you have been around a while, you probably understand that that means the game just started. Basically, somebody joined that open seat right as you opened it. However, if you're new, you might not understand that, and you might be confused, like, huh? I clicked on a game, and now I just see a blank map, and I don't know what's going on. So it's just a point of confusion. I actually got people that sent me, like, bug reports, and they were like, I don't know what's going on. I clicked on this game, and then it's just all fogged. I wanted to join this game. Instead, I just got presented a blank map. So now, what happens is if you're in that scenario, you'll still get a blank map, but it'll pop up a message in the middle that says, this game started right as you opened it, basically. That's not the exact words it said. I think it says, like, sorry, the game started without you, or something like that. Just a thing to help new players understand what's going on so they're not so confused. Same idea, you're 43 years old and learned how to play Risk a few months ago on a different online game that I don't recommend, WoW game. Never heard of WoW game. World at War. Huh. Don't recommend it. Apparently, according to Flying, you don't recommend it. Search online and found Warzone and love it. Great, I'm glad you love it. I'm also, I'm 42, so you got me beat. You one-upped me. Found Warzone through the Incremental Idle Games community on Reddit. Then the Idle game successfully pushed me to start multiplayer matches. Cool. I'm glad to hear that story, because that's part of the reason I added those arenas to the Idle game. You asked me how I found Warzone. I did, and I'm glad you answered. Thank you for telling me. Appreciate it. Cleaned up the clock hover dialogue. Okay, so this is the way I see this is if you're in a very large game, like this is a 400 player game, which is insane. When you click on the clock, you get this list of how fast everyone plays. And if the game had bank time, it would also show how much bank time each person had. Before, this dialogue looked terrible. Like now the players are actually lined up. So it actually looks nice. Before it like centered every row. So it was like all over the place. It just didn't look nice. Now it looks nice. That's all that is. Question or bug report. How do I turn off Warzone Idle on the iOS app? I'm not interested. I have to navigate back twice and in multiplayer every time I load it. So the way you do that is you go into the settings, you click your head in the top right corner and go to settings. The very top button says which game the app defaults to. So you can change that to classic. And I also have good news for you, which is we haven't gotten... Oh yeah, we just talked about this actually a little while ago. That won't happen again in the new update, which is coming out in the next couple weeks. So basically you will always default to the main menu. And the only way to get into Idle is actually click Idle. So yes, your concern will be fixed for future people, but you can fix it in the settings. The setting that I'm directing to is actually being removed in the next app, in the next update. So you should still go out, turn it off in the settings so you can fix it right now. But the long answer is, in a couple weeks, that problem will be fixed for everyone, even people who don't know how to turn it off. Just a word to say, I often come back to your game, and it is always interesting. I only do quick match, auto, Imperium, Romanum, light LED, and light fog, best fact, best map, best game mode. Cool. Well, thank you for your kind words. I also enjoy that template. It is one of the 6 that I play on quick match. It's a really good template. I love local deployment. That's my favorite kind of game modes. So I'm glad to hear you like it too. Thank you for your kind words. Do you ever post a lift to superlatives? most game played, highest win rate, best team member, best win rate of best team, most games played. I tend to focus on player-specific stats. So there is this fun stats page where you can go see a bunch of stats about yourself. But yeah, I prefer to post stats specific to a person because I think they're more interesting than like global statistics. But you can come in here and see like your best come from behind victories, the players you defeat most often, players that defeat you most often, people that you have like shared birthdays with. I should probably remove deleted accounts from that list. Because that's just silly. I'm gonna add that to my list. Man, every time I do a stream, I find like 5 bugs. I should stop doing streams, that way there'll be less bugs, right? Regarding clan wars, Fizzer made a tool we all use to follow the game. Any chance you can talk to him and get what he makes into the real game? I think it is best as its own thing. Like if we integrate it into the real game, then I'm not sure if that's something even Fizzer wants. I found this game when searching for strategy map games or something back in 2018. It was like 6 levels, but it linked Warzone. Cool. Thanks for sharing. Where are the Warzone servers located? I think they're in the northeastern United States. Are they in your house or off-site somewhere? They're off-site. How powerful are they? What memory storage is required to operate everything? So they're hosted on a cloud service called Linode, and it runs on about 12 servers. Some of the servers are weak, and some, like the database ones, are pretty powerful. So it runs on 12 servers, a variety of power. Remove deleted accounts from friends. That would be nice. Yeah, probably should. I agree. Funny story. In 2014, I was trying to escape the ISIS stress. You live in Iraq. Wow. And I accidentally found the website when I typed on Google ways to deal with stress. So random, but best discovery I've ever had. And I love playing it 10 years now. Cool. I'm glad you enjoy the game. Thanks for sharing your story. And I hope you stay safe. Do you consider adding achievements for making maps and mods? I have considered it, and I'm not a fan of that because I don't really want people creating maps just to get the achievement. Like if you had an achievement for making a map, people would just make like a stupid garbage map with like 10 territories that just randomly connected and be like, here, I'm publishing this map to get the achievement. And it's not really, we don't really want the maps section polluted with a bunch of low effort maps. I think it's better to reward the people who make great maps. And that's better on, and the thing about achievements is some people are achievement hunters where they want to get every achievement. So they're going to do the bare minimum of effort to get every achievement. So like getting map of the week would also be kind of unreasonable to expect every achievement hunter to do, because that's kind of reserved for like the best players, or the best map makers, I mean. Linguistit probably wins the most games played if you filter by anything in the last year. Been in the tens of billions sports the last 30 days as long as I've known recent times. Huh, I don't know them. I'm not familiar with them. How many players are playing Warzone active? So I don't reveal the exact number, but it is... I don't actually even track the number, to be honest. I don't even know the answer. Achievement hunters would get their clan to vote for map being map of the week. Yeah, that's another thing that could definitely happen. Okay, where do we leave off? Custom scenario thing. Opening game from the open games, clock hover. Okay. Quick match tutorial. So sometimes new players end up signing up for quick match without realizing that they're signing up for quick match. So I improved the UI around that. So that should hopefully happen less often, or hopefully never now, because it's much clearer now. I haven't noticed. I don't actually regularly look at the points leaderboard, to be honest. Once you get to a high level, you just like don't really care. But yeah, 13 million. That is a big jump over second place. Is he playing lots of lottery games or something? Or is he playing legitimate games? That's the first question I have. Added a balloon to promote the export to YouTube feature. So we talked about the export to YouTube feature at the beginning of this stream. So I just added a little balloon so that people know it's new and updated, and it will pop up and be like, hey, this thing is new. Check it out. And then if you dismiss it, it remembers that you dismissed it, so it will only pop up once. Lottery games, check those win rates. I think 100 plus a day. Yeah. Then it's not very impressive. I'd be impressed if someone was getting 13 million points from playing normally. But playing lottery games is just kind of dumb in my opinion. First time you join a stream, have you ever thought about adding the ability to tag someone in public chat? Sometimes in the publicity games or mega games, there are too many messages to read. That is a good idea. I have not thought about it, but it is a good candidate for you to submit to the feature request form. And if enough people vote for it, maybe it's something we can do. What about the defeat your inviter achievement? Is it somehow gainable if I haven't been invited? Same for beta tester. Okay, so defeat your inviter achievement is something that will not appear if you were not invited to the game by another player. So a bit of a history lesson. Way back in the day, the only way to start playing was to get invited by another player. And the way that normally happened is somebody would create a game and they'd go to their friends and they would type in, this is way back in like 2008. So back in the day, you would come here to like the email tab and you type in the email address of all your friends. I can't type. Not valid. I put 2 dots in. You'd be like blah 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 at gmail.com and blah 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 at gmail.com. You'd invite all your friends to a game and then they would be registered as being invited by you. So way back in the day, this was the only way to actually start playing this game, is you had to get invited by somebody. That hasn't been the case for a long time. Today you can just go and sign up for an account, which is probably what most people do. But when the achievements were first added, most people were invited by someone. So there's an achievement for defeating the person that invited you. But if you were not invited by someone, basically that achievement will never appear on your list. And you also don't need to, you can also get to 100% achievements without doing that, because the achievement is impossible for you, so it just like will never appear. So it is not gainable, but it is also not required. It will just basically be invisible to you. And for the beta tester, so beta tester is different. Beta tester is a trophy. So some things are like, they exist in the same database, these gold ones at the top that say the word trophy. They exist in the same database as achievements, but they are not considered, so I don't consider them an achievement, which is, I realize, misleading because they're listed right under the word achievements. But technically they're not an achievement, technically they're a trophy. And trophies were a bit different than achievements. For one thing, they don't contribute to this percentage. Oh, as you can see right here, it has a little tooltip that says excludes trophies. So you don't need to get all the trophies to get 100% achievements. The trophies are things that I consider like above and beyond. They're also much harder to get than achievements. Like getting first in the 1v1 ladder is kind of an exceptionally difficult thing to do, or winning a season in the seasonal ladder. Those are not something I would expect most people to be able to do, which is why they don't contribute towards your 100% achievement rating. Most achievement hunters are not going to be able to do those things. As well as the beta tester. If you played the game while it was still in beta, you get a trophy for that, which I excluded from my list just because it's kind of dumb. It's kind of dumb for me to have that. But a lot of old players have it. And then you don't need it to get 100%, obviously, because there's no way to earn it now. I disagree. It's impressive in a different way. It's a lot of games, sure, but it's not skill-based. It's just clicking. I mean, technically, every game we play is just clicking, right? How about a vote to change a player in games instead of booting? Yeah, that's something that could be theoretically done if enough people voted for it. I don't know if I especially like the feature, but confession, I sometimes play lottery games and get my boot rate down more quickly. Any other ideas other than to avoid letting life get in the way and getting booted? Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I'm not going to disallow you to play lottery games. I just think it's personally boring. But if you want to do it, it's fine. Might be simpler to section out trophies in the category above achievements. And yeah, call it trophies. You're right. I agree. It should say trophies right here, and then list your trophies, and then list your achievements below it. That would be more clear. Another thing in the ladder, it says there are hidden levels that are secret. I don't believe that anymore. You don't believe it? Ladders. If you go to like a ladder, click rewards. So it shows you bronze, silver, and gold, but there are leagues above gold. If you don't believe it, you need to start believing it. There are indeed leagues above gold. I haven't paid attention. Does anybody actually... What's the highest rating? 400? Oh, 900? Oh yeah, look at that. They're in the Emerald League. There you go. There's proof right there. Somebody is in a league... Oh, in the Sapphire League, I'm sorry. In the Sapphire League, but best league ever, Emerald. There you go. There's proof. But it's a secret. Don't look at it. Will there ever be a mod making equivalent to the Make a Beautiful Map trophy? I would be in favor of adding that, yeah. It's not something I'm planning on doing right now. But ever? If you're asking if there will ever be, I would say probably. Would it not be a good idea to have verify a new account via their email? At the moment, people can create an all account, so totally made up email. There is a email verification system. You can see right here it says my email is verified, but it is not required. Usually, there are cases where we make it required, but that's usually done manually by an admin. If we suspect you of alt accounting sometimes, but that's not done very often. But the main reason that email verification is not required to start playing is just because it's not really... every barrier you put up in front of new players is going to reduce your player count by a lot. Haven't reached a new one for a long time. Yeah? Well, you will eventually. A new meta achievement idea, have more achievements than Fizzer. Sapphire feels like the highest, and we did reach those a long time ago in 2v2 and 3v3. Wouldn't hurt to make some higher levels. I can't remember what the actual highest is. I would have to actually look. It's been a while since the ladder overhaul was done, so I don't remember off the top of my head. And even if it was a higher one, I wouldn't tell you, because it's a secret. What about being able to choose from a few choices of maps when you unlock a new map through the points? Perhaps show how popular each is so you can make an informed choice. Yeah, so the map levels are actually determined by the map creators. It's an interesting idea. I like the way you think. But the way it works right now is every map creator can come in here and they can actually specify what level their map unlocks at. So like this map was made by Cohen27 and they have elected that their map should unlock at level 2. So it's actually not up to me. I actually leave that up to the map creators, which is an interesting system. Now that being said, I could let you choose between all the ones at level 2, but then the question is how would you get the rest of them? It's kind of weird, but yeah, that's the way it works today. Your system is valid too. That would be an interesting way of doing it, but it's just not currently the way it's done. If you feel strongly enough, you can submit it to the feature request form, and maybe a lot of people will vote for it, but I kind of don't think people will, but maybe they will. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe everybody wants this feature and I just don't know about it. Regarding ladder rewards, some of the 1v1, 2v2, and 3v3 ladder rewards for idle overlap with clan war rewards. In cases where your clan war reward is better than the reward you get in the ladder, it's said that the ladder will overwrite or vice versa. It's the entire reason I stopped the 1v ladder. So that should not happen if you're in the latest version of the app. I did get a bug report recently from someone who said they were experiencing this. And when I investigated it, I found out that the version of the app they were using was like over a year old, and which is why it wasn't working for them. And that might be what you heard, is somebody was using a very old version of the app back when that didn't integrate properly, but it should integrate properly as far as I know. If you're actually seeing this happen, you should send me a bug report. We should talk about bug reports. So if you go to the bottom of any page, you go to contact, you can click report bug. This is the report bug page. If you find a bug, you should report it here. So if you actually seen this happen, it sounds like a bug, something isn't working properly for you, I will investigate it and figure out why it's not. As I've said, the one person that's actually reported this bug to me, the reason they were having that happen is because they never updated their app. So do make sure that your Android and iOS are set to auto update the apps, because in his case, it was over a year old. And I'm pretty sure as soon as he updated the app, that was fixed for him. So I don't think that's true. If you've seen it happen, report it. What it should do is it should use the better of the two. Would love if I did not have to keep swapping in my draft boost artifact every 5 minutes when the draft armies are available. I should probably get a feature request out there. So that's actually the purpose of the auto artifact swapper that was just added to the game a month or two ago. Maybe it's been like 2 or 3 months. But yeah, there's a feature in idle called the automatic artifact swapper, which basically as soon as you click the draft icon, it will automatically swap your draft boost artifact in. So there is a feature that basically already does that. What is the meaning of life? Good question. Next question. It's difficult for me to not track as I don't have the entire top level statistics. I can't really track my bonuses from Ladder Clan Wars. Oh, yeah. You should get that top level statistics. Could be implemented something in Quick Match about not matching high booters. I mean, if I have a 1% booting game to be matched against a 0-1%, so it's frustrating to wait 20% for 8-minute boot game, could have some kind of later. Yeah, so I know it is frustrating when you get matched against somebody who just gets booted, because then you just have to sit there waiting. I realize that's frustrating. I do think that 8 to 10 minute boot games, I don't know how many quick match templates actually use 8 to 10 minute boots. The ones I play aren't that slow, but I don't play all of them. And I know they're submitted by the community, so sometimes community members can submit high boot time games. But yeah, I do understand it's frustrating to get matched against someone that gets booted a lot. I will say there are some mechanics in the game to try to disincentivize people from getting booted. People who get booted a lot, they are forced to go through what I call the surrender tutorial, and it basically punishes them for not surrender. I know it's not a perfect solution. It does help a bit. In fact, when that was first implemented, I saw boot rates fall quite a bit across Quick Match and all games. But I realized it didn't fall to 0, so it still does happen. Matching people by boot rate is certainly an option to combat that. I don't know if it's the best solution to that problem. But I don't know a better solution off the top of my head. Yeah, it's definitely something I would have to think more about, what the right way of solving that problem. So I do apologize that you've had to endure that. I do agree it is a problem. One thing I would want to look into is making sure that no quick match games have 10-minute boots, because I think that's just too long. I do strive to make games fast, and the templates that I put in quick match, I try to put much faster boot times on. What do you think about creating quality of life browser add-ons, even though they violate the no reverse engineering rule? I thought about making a Firefox add-ons translate mods from, or maybe even from a GitHub to WASM. So yeah, I'm not going to make any browser add-ons like that because I can directly modify the code. If you're asking what do I think about somebody else doing it, I'm okay with it as long as it doesn't cause too many problems for Warzone. That's basically my position. Did the artifact thing come at the same time as the gameplay splitting armies error occurred? I feel like it was almost the same time. I don't remember, to be honest. What might be fun, an odds maker stat based on their win rates or something. So that when I get into a team game, you calculate the odds of each team winning the match. That way I'll feel better about myself if I upset Cavex in a Cavex map. What is this, unpin? Yeah, that could be something that's interesting. You're welcome to add it to the features request form. I don't know exactly how it would determine the odds. I guess, I think there is. I think I did look into that actually when I originally made the ladder refresh, like a year ago or whatever it was. I tried to find a way to calculate the odds that a particular side would win based on their ratings, but then I couldn't get the algorithm working quite right. So I think I didn't end up doing it, but I tried to. But yeah, you're asking about quick match, I think, which I guess could do the same thing because quick match uses true skill as well. In quick match team games, a restart with a new player if one boots or doesn't click. I am here when a game is filled. Sure, you're saying that you want it to auto restart? Possibly. I think it would be better just to go back to the quick match queue, but I don't know. The Super Camp has been packaged with sales for like $3, if I recall correctly. I'm not sure he's put the auto artifact swapper in a sale yet. It has not been in a sale yet. You anticipate it will happen in the future. Okay, good anticipation. It is legal to have infinite alt accounts. So you can go to the Warzone rules. They are listed on the wiki. Having an alt account is not against the rules. However, if you use it in any way to give you an advantage in any game, tournament, ladder, or any Warzone system, then it is against the rules. How would odds maker stat work? Yeah, I don't know. I think it is possible to do something like that, but I don't know how to calculate it. 100% of my boots are here because I didn't hear it start, and the countdown warning is not long enough. I don't know if you're talking about playing on the browser or the app, but either way, make sure your notifications are enabled and working. If you're playing on the app, you should be able to get a push notification when a game starts. Create that community tool and make it even work on Fizzer tournaments. I can see my 0.1 chance to win idle power. An odds tool? Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what you're saying. I think all my templates have 3 minute plus turn, 5 minute bank, so 8 minutes, not 10 indeed. Yeah, that is 8 minutes. 8 minutes seems a bit long to me for a turn, but I understand it's only 3 minutes per turn and 8 minutes bank. That is definitely on the high end of what I would consider for real time. Any tips for lagging animations in idle and battles? I'm using a modern, relatively powerful PC, Chrome, no excessive tabs open. Yeah, so I do agree that the Chrome, the web port of idle does lag in extreme situations like battles, and I apologize for that. One thing you can do is, if you are a member, you can use the standalone client. If you have an iOS or Android device, you can use that device instead. They tend to lag less. But yeah, unfortunately, the browser it's just the way it's ported, and it is something I would like to work on and actually make more efficient over time, but it's not something I've been prioritizing lately. What do you think about showing and indicating when your opponent is viewing a multi-day game at the same time you are? That could be interesting. That's something you could submit to the feature request forum if you're interested in it. I have cleared browser cache. All the low-hanging fruit. Yeah. How about a membership discount, which can be bought for coins? So I do think it's important that there's... so membership can be bought for coins already. And it is discounted from time to time through bundles. Like there are sales that happen from time to time. So I think what you're asking for already happens. AI baby, use some basic measure like win rate and let the code learn what makes good predictions. That would be cool. I've been toying with the idea of like using some of these new machine learning techniques to make a Warzone AI, but too much to do. Never really seriously prioritized it. Just take their ratings from the quick match ratings and use the ELO system as literally made for calculating the odds to win. Yes. I was trying to do it in a generic way through the true skill algorithm that works for teams and FFAs and everything. And I couldn't quite figure out the math. I couldn't quite get it working. Assuming the template is quick match rating doesn't mean anything. It is an activity battle. So quick match rating is heavily influenced by activity when it is low, like when the numbers are below 500. Once it gets above 500, then it's just straight true skill, which is an ELO rating. So quick match rating is one of those things where a lot of people see it when it's low, and then they assume, oh, this is just an activity thing, and they don't realize that it actually is a very skill-based rating once it gets to the high values. So you got to get through the low numbers before you get to the skill part of it. Will you ever release the game on Steam? I have no plans to at the moment, but ever is a long time, so I can't really comment on ever. Infrequent player here, just turned to express my gratitude for the superior Warzone game. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoy the game. Thanks for stopping by. Fizzy Rock, I have to drop. Almost got booted again. Thanks for creating, maintaining, and supporting a great place for us. BattleBot Warzone Lifers. You're welcome. Thanks. I'm glad you enjoy the game. Okay. Phew. That was a lot of comments. The rest of these, I don't know if we necessarily need to go over. Oh, this. If you're waiting for a battle to start. So this is talking about idle battles. This was another feature that was requested on the feature request forum. Idle battles. Where was it? Battles. Oh yeah, it's the very top one. Compensation to players when Warzone idle battle does not start. So if you're waiting for a battle to start and there's not enough people to start it, you basically get 10 battle points, kind of as a consolation prize, because we couldn't start the battle. But hey, you were there and you tried to start it, so you get some points for free. And that's kind of there because if enough people get addicted to these points and keep trying to start the battle, then battles will actually start. Empty mercenary camps are now hidden from the list when loading a level. This was a complaint, another thing that was on here. Hide mercenary camps with 0 remaining. On very large levels, when you've already drained most of your mercenary camps, you'd end up with this huge list of empty ones that you had to like scroll past every time you wanted to play. So that's a new thing in the update. We'll just hide the empty ones. If they're empty, you can't do anything with them anyway. Battles and challenges are now accessed by buttons on the path instead of tabs. So this goes along with the refactoring that I said earlier. We talked about this earlier. Idle is now more cleanly integrated into the classic app. And the reason we had to move the battles and challenges buttons is because they used to be tabs, and in the new integration, idle basically exists on one screen, and I don't like doing tabs within tabs. So the battles and challenges are now buttons instead of tabs. Devastating how much time your game has taken from me. It has really inhibited the development of my own game on Myrtle.com, but I appreciate every minute of it. Well, thank you. I'm glad you enjoy the game. I'm not familiar with Myrtle, but looks cool. Good job. I'm glad to hear you're developing something on your own. That sounds really cool. Thank you for your kind words. Love your game. Nice work. I think it would be nice to have a volume control in the game again in the browser. So there is a volume control in the browser, although admittedly it is difficult to find. The way you find it is you click on your name in the top right corner when you're on a game page. You click on your name in the top right corner, then click on app settings, and then you can see you have like a sound slider here and a critical sounds slider here. So it does exist, but thank you for your kind words. I'm glad you enjoy the game. Hello, GravTac. Myrtle Dev, you love your game too? I'll have to check that game out sometime. I've never heard of it. How about a membership can be bought for coins? I'm dumb. Can just buy the missing coins and then buy the membership with the new coins. Yes, you can. Oh, I see. You wanted to buy the discount specifically for coins. Now I understand what you're talking about. Cool. I'm glad you solved your own problem. Sorry I couldn't help you. For idle dig sites, same thing as mercenary. There are a lot of them the player don't want to use, but every time you have to check them. Option to simply remove them from those who won't be digging. Yeah, you're welcome to add that to the feature requests forum. I'm surprised to see that request because personally I dig pretty much every camp. I dig pretty much every dig site. I have not experienced what you're talking about where you have a ton that you don't want. I never knew you could change volume on browser. Yeah, it's not easily discoverable. It does exist though. Buy membership of coins, get a search bar on the feature request form. Yes, this is actually something that I intended to add in this update, in the 5.29 update. Basically searching the feature request form. In fact, searching all the forums. but I ran into some technical problems with it. I'm running some old versions of my database software that powers the forum, and I need to update it, which then I needed to update the operating system because the newer version of the database software didn't run on the old operating system I use. And so like it ended up turning into a big technical problem. So I ended up bumping that feature from 5.29, but I am still planning on delivering a search feature for the feature request form. It is something I'm planning on doing, yes. Hey Ethan, how's it going? Okay, we're on the last item. The last item was fix the auto artifact swapper. Trying to swap out some artifacts as you're activating them. Yeah, just a little bug there. There was a bug where if you tried to like activate the artifact swapper, it would try to swap it out, and then you'd get an error message because it would be like, what? You're trying to activate an artifact that's not equipped. You can't do that. So that's fixed. So yeah, the clan changes. I don't know if I want to get through all the clan changes in this stream. Do you guys have questions about the clan stuff? I'm sure there's questions about it. We'll go over all the questions in the thread. So this is the forum thread I made for people that wanted to ask questions that couldn't be here today. So I'm going to go over these questions so that they have their answers when they watch the replay later. If you ever can't make the stream and want to ask me something, this is the way to do it. So will the country achievements be backlogged from games we have played already? And the answer to that is no. And the reason is because I think it's more fun this way. If I backlogged it, the people that have played tens of thousands of games already would basically just get all the achievements immediately for free, which I think is boring because then there's absolutely no fun to it. Will certain other countries be separated into the territorial districts, Australian states, Canadian provinces, British home nations? Not at the moment. That's not something I'm planning to do. As I said earlier, the reason that US was split is because like half the players that play Warzone are in the US. So that's why the US got split into different achievements. Maybe someday I'll come back and split the other countries, but I'm not planning on doing that at the moment. If a country gets super popular, maybe I'll do it. For guys who are going to ask why only 120 country achievements, I said in global chat, yes. So I did exclude some countries from the achievement list. Basically, I looked at how many active players were in each country, / US state. And if it was below a certain metric, I excluded it, although all the states were included. So all 50 states are there. But some countries that have very few players were excluded. Because, again, there are achievement hunters that try to get 100% of achievements. And if there's a country with only like 20 players, 20 active players, it's going to be really hard to get that achievement. You may never be on at the same time as them. You may not be able to find them. Great update. You nailed a bunch. Easy to implement. Really nice to add features like re-adding the pop-up for clan names. New premium colors. Why aren't they showing up? Yes, there was a bug right after this update went live where the new colors weren't showing up yet. So that's what Crinid, is that how you say his name? That's what he's talking about here. But they are there now. They just weren't there at the time he posted this. How to get flunky Fizzers playing Clan League. I have no plans on playing Clan League at this time. Can the achievement for beating the player who invited you to Warzone be obtainable for those that were not referred to Warzone? We actually talked about this earlier in the stream. So that achievement cannot be obtained, but it also will never show up on your list. And you can even get to 100% achievements by not doing it. Basically, it just is invisible for you. It doesn't exist for you. How did you come up with the new colors you were going to add, and where did you get their names from? It actually came, I took it straight from the feature request posted by Z. Why does it always take me to page 2? I don't understand why it's happening. He bolded these 4: cinnamon, goldenrod, rainforest, and mahogany. Those are the ones I asked for, so those were the ones I added. You mentioned having a hitbox within a hitbox is bad for mobile users when dealing with clan icons and names. Would you be willing to make that a setting to turn on to allow a person to click on the icon without opening the pop-up? Yeah, so generally, there's a pretty high bar for what I will make a setting. And this is something I developed over the years and found that Settings have a hidden cost, especially when it comes to things like bug reports. If I get a report from a bug from a player, I don't know what settings they have ticked off, and I have to go like, sometimes I can't reproduce their bug, and I have to figure out like, oh, maybe they have this setting ticked, or maybe they have that setting ticked, or maybe they have this specific combination of settings ticked. Or plus, when I'm releasing new features, I have to test every new feature with every possible combination of settings ticked to ensure that there's no bugs. So settings really do have a hidden cost, and so I only add settings if it's very, very important. And in my opinion, this doesn't rise to the bar of needing a setting. I think most of the reason people want this is just to maintain their muscle memory. And I understand that whenever you change UI, it's really annoying because people have muscle memory on doing things. But I do think in the long run, this is a pretty small change. I think in the long run, it would be better this way. Can we have an option to block list your new Warzone idle battle global chat bot? Yeah, you're welcome to add that to the feature request form. That's something that, to be honest, the reason I originally did not add Warzone idle battles to the global chat is because I thought it was, it's signal to noise ratio. I didn't think enough people would be interested in them to justify having it there. But then when the community came along and added their own bot to announce them, I'm like, all right, they kind of forced my hand. I'm like, all right, if they're announcing them anyway, it might as well be a system feature. So I went ahead and added it. Do you consider being more active on the Mod Maker Discord? Yes, I do consider it. Any thoughts on adding the multi-template link to the site? So the multi-template ladder is indeed added on the site. It is under community events. You can see it is right there. It is under community events because it is run by the community. It is a community event. Can you make it when buying the new colors, you have to confirm it before you spend all your coins? Yes, that is actually, I didn't include it in the patch notes in the 5.29, but that is in 5.29. That is, I consider that a bug in the old version of the app where it didn't ask you for confirmation on coin-only purchases. If you do accidentally buy it, just let me know and I can undo it for you if you don't want it. In Idle, I'm on my first ascension. I understand that powers on a level can only be collected twice. If I finish a level, leaving powers unclaimed, I'll have to copy. My hotkey for muting my mic is the same as it brings up that debug symbol. I understand powers can only be collected twice. If I finish level, leaving powers unclaimed, are they gone forever? No. So each power that you find on the map can be collected twice. So if you choose not to collect it, then it will still be there the next time you play that level, up to twice. So another way of saying it, it only tracks when you actually collect it. If you don't actually pick it up, then it doesn't count as one of your two collections. Any plans in the Let's Get Wacky 5 game? I'm your neighbor there since this turn. Yeah, that game's not going especially well for me. I don't think I have much of a chance because I do not have a bonus. So my plan is probably wait for someone to come along and destroy me. That's my grand plan. No, you can take him next time. Yes, that's correct. His plan is to hack the game and put me back in. Did you get eliminated? Well, I outlast the creator, so good. That's achievement unlocked. Why did the coin leaderboard season number jump from 77 to 110? I was actually not aware that happened. Oh, I actually skipped a message. I'll come back to it. I was not aware that happened. That is a thing that can happen, though. The real reason is very technical, but there is, we use Postgres as our database, and there are some events that causes Postgres to like jump their identity numbers. And also related to that answer is we use Postgres identity numbers to determine coin leaderboard seasons. If I had to design it over from scratch, I would probably not do it that way, and I would use a more reliable system to make sure the numbers didn't jump. But at the time, that was the way I decided to do it. Do you have statistics for how the new colors are selling? I do, but I do not look them up. Forest green is spreading a lot faster than I expected. I guess people really like that color. I didn't expect people to like the colors that much. I would have added it a long time ago if I knew they were that popular, but yeah, people get excited by their colors. With the changes to Clan Wars, oh, and if people want more colors, you should request them on the forum, because I made it so it's much easier to add new colors now. I did some work in the 5.29 update. With changes to Clan Wars and allowing all clan members to play, how will season-ending bonuses be split? My plan is to leave it, so all the Clan Wars stuff is not yet rock solid. Like, there's still a lot of research and stuff I have to do. I have not even started working on the changes yet, but I do plan to start probably in the next week or two. But my current plan is to leave it exactly as it is, to be honest. It will be basically all participants. It depends what rewards you're talking about. Like, so the idle rewards that apply to everyone. Again, just like now, everyone who participated, everyone who contributed, I believe means you win at least one game. If you win at least one game in a season, you are marked as contributing to the clan war, and then you are eligible for the rewards. And I believe it is even, things like coins are evenly split amongst all contributors. Things like idle rewards are just everyone gets it. Will there be a top 25 since only 25 points are eligible for the day? No. I think it will work exactly as it does now. Clan Wars, 25 games before penalty is too small. 6 clans have averaged more than 25 per day. Well, it's 40 today, so I'm going from 40 to 25. I think what you'll see happen, and we'll have to launch it and see what happens, but my prediction what will happen is you'll see a lot more clans reach 25 once the goal is 25. Because I think what you see happening today is that people can't get to 40, so they don't try, if that makes sense. Like, if you can't get to 40, there's no reason to try to get to 25, because 25 doesn't mean anything today. But I think a lot of people that can get to 25 will start getting to 25. How about building our own colors by clicking a color plus a pattern? So one of the problems with that is you don't want 2 colors that are extremely close to each other, because you could end up with 2 colors that are very close and basically look identical, and that's a problem. You also don't want to let people pick colors that are too close to neutral. You want people to be able to tell the colors apart. A special color for accounts over 10 years old? Maybe. You like the colors on Clan War changes. I really like it if there were more customization options moving forward. Would you ever consider a purchasable profile customization or purchasable color pattern customization? I think that's similar to what we just talked about. Profile customization, sure, you can add it to the feature request form. I have nothing against it. Just if enough people want it, I would do it. You love Warzone? Great. Glad you enjoy it. Are you allowed to talk about the lawsuit? Honestly, there haven't. I've talked about the lawsuit in previous streams, and there haven't been any updates since the previous stream. We're still just going through discovery at this point, is where it's at. If you want to hear what I've said about it previously, you can go watch the previous streams. Are there any plans for mod-related updates in the future? I do want to do mod updates in the future, yes. It is not currently like my top priority or anything like that. Right now, Clan Wars is kind of at the top of the list. And honestly, I haven't planned out what we're going to be doing after Clan Wars. Mod updates is definitely one of the candidates, I'll put it that way. And for mod updates, I do have a lot of plans. I do want to see more hooks that mods can hook into. I do want to see features where mods can bring players back to life in a game. I want to see features where mods can move players between teams, or maybe even dynamically change teams, I think would be cool. There's a lot of ideas I have, but nothing concrete. I didn't know about the invitation link until long after I've invited everyone. At least 7 I've invited, levels from the 20s, 50s. Anyways, could be amended or corrected so they're connected to me in regards to achievements. Currently, that is not possible, but if it's something enough people want, maybe we could make a way to do that. But yeah, I don't advertise the invitation link. What he's talking about, the invitation link. Is this the page? No, that's not the page. There's a page that's like, you get a link that you can like send to people, and if they click on it and then they create a Warzone account, they'll be registered as invited by you. That's something that honestly was added over 10 years ago and not really made much use of. So I think most people don't know about it. It does exist, it still works, but I think very few people use it. Let's see. Meanwhile, light blue being indistinguishable. So that's part of the problem we have, which is we already have too many colors, and many of them are like too close to each other. Like even back when we only have, I think we have 24 base colors, and like it's almost impossible to find 24 colors where no two of them are too close to each other, which is the problem. And that's part of the reason that I'm kind of resistant to adding too many colors. About premium colors, when I got my color stolen, I can't switch my opponent's one and then get my usual premium color. I could with the regular one. Could premium colors be added to the change player color section for those that bought them? Yeah, that's a good idea. I agree. Yeah, I think the answer is I have no quorums with doing that. You should add it to the features request form. That is something that if it gets enough votes, that would be something I would definitely look at doing, because that is something I agree should be possible. The only reason it's not is probably an oversight, not an intentional decision. Speaking of colors, it would be great to choose custom colors for myself, teammates, enemies, and auto-set them as custom colors. I spend a few minutes in every big multiplayer game just recoloring my team. Choose custom colors for myself, teammates, enemies, and auto-set them as custom colors. Like you want to choose colors that are currently not options? Is that what you're trying to say? In general, I think Clan Wars change attempt is very nice. It opens up a lot of possibilities in the future. What I did like about the old system, I lost games, was better than not playing. I agree, and I think I'm going to do everything in my power to maintain that. Generally, I want it to be that way. I want you to be playing, and losing should be better than not playing. Set as team color would be amazing. Yeah, that would be a cool feature. You should add that to the features request form. That's something I would be open to adding. Do you have pets? Had pets. Consider having pets. Just last year, my girlfriend and I got a puppy. We got a dog, and so yes, we have a dog. I grew up with dogs. I grew up with dogs and a cat. So yes, I have a dog. And actually, I don't know if you guys can hear, but like 30 minutes ago, he was scratching at my door because I think he heard me talking. He was trying to come figure out like what's going on. How come you're in your office by yourself talking? But I ignored him. He went away. I don't think you could hear. But what would happen to defeat a player that plays from a country achievement if the country were to cease to exist? It's a good question. We'd have to deal with that when it came up. Maybe we just delete the achievement. Okay. We're gonna get through the rest of these questions on the thread, and then I'm probably gonna have to sign off after that. We talked about that. With the announced Clan Wars update, what would happen in the following scenario? The clan has 100 members. In this clan, 25 members play 25 games and get 25 wins. The other 75 don't play. So yeah, this is something, this is a great question. So this is something I don't know if I made completely clear, but my intention is I want to see big clans encouraging all their members to play, which is kind of the opposite of the system we have now, where a lot of big clans are encouraging like 40 members to play and then like locking out everyone else. I want to see big clans encourage everyone to play. So I want to see, the way I have it envisioned right now is if your clan has 100 members, basically you have 25 reserved seats, which means you should get 75 people playing a day. If you have less than 75, then your wins are going to be worth less. That's the way I see it working. And I realize that a lot of big clans aren't going to like that, but we're going to see how it works. We'll try it. This is something I talked about in previous AMAs as well, and I know it produced a strong reaction. Will the game ever get translation into other languages? It is not something I'm currently planning on, but maybe someday. It's definitely something I am thinking about. It's definitely something I've thought about in the past. Probably someday it will happen, yeah. Why do you call yourself Fizzer when you aren't even fizzed? I don't know. Have you tasted me? Maybe I am. Is search player by country going to be added anytime soon? It is not something I'm currently thinking about. You should add it to the feature request forum. If it gets enough votes, maybe. I'm not sure. I guess you want to find people that play in your country. I think a better way to do it would be search for people in your own country, because why would you want to search for a different country? And maybe a better way of doing this is to like make a way to match people with other players nearby to them. Because like for me in the United States, searching for people in the United States is kind of useless. I think what people really want is like search for people close to me. Maybe that's kind of the root of the question you're asking for. What country are you in? Yeah, see, you're in Pakistan. There's probably not very many Pakistani players. I think it would be cool. I think it would be cool to have a feature that is search for people that play nearby to me. Which that's something we could do. It's actually a good idea. I like that idea. Final amount of clan war points, which that clan will get in that day. Wednesday times 25. Yeah, I think we talked about that already. Thanks for Premium Green finally. You're welcome. We are in season 52. Any chance we could get new templates to be rotated in semi-regularly? Yes, that is something I want to do. To be honest, I just haven't figured out the right way of doing it. Add one template and drop the least popular template every 5 seasons. I think that's a perfectly reasonable way of doing it, yeah. I need to figure out how we're going to like vote. Feature request it? Yes. Feature request it would be good. It's a good idea to feature request it as well, just because that way, like, when it happens, you get notifications. You made it here. Good. You did it already. So yeah, I do agree. I like the idea of adding a template, like one every 5 seasons, and dropping the least popular one. I actually really like that idea. I think that's a good way of doing it. But that being said, I still need to think about it more to figure out what the actual way of doing it too. I need to think about how we would organize the vote. I think we want to add them by vote. If you take on the nudge button scope, can I contribute some ideas? Yeah, so let's talk about nudge button real fast. This is close to the end of the stream anyway. But the number one feature request is nudge button usable for real-time games. I don't like how it takes me to page 2. I need to fix that. I have some concerns about this request. So he's saying that update the nudge button so it works with real-time games. This will help a lot of people with getting distracted and getting rooted in many games. Currently, the only option is send messages, which will notify people. You should be able to allow 100 notifications. So my question is, the people that have voted for this, have you ever actually been nudged in a multi-day game? Like, do you know what nudge does? So Black Bart is the person that requested this. He's saying for those on computers, it adds a lot. Plus, you could set custom sound if you're near your phone. Wait. I sit in front of my computer sometime waiting for a game to start. I get distracted. I start reading emails, and the chime doesn't sound. So this is my concern right here. Is he's saying he doesn't get the chime for when a game starts? Because my concern is that right now it sends a notification when game starts. And if he's not getting that, well, guess what? All Nudge does is send a notification. So if he's already not getting the notifications, adding another notification isn't really going to solve his problem. I think we were also talking about enhancing the functionality to get text and maybe photo flashes on your phone. Sure, but that's more than what the feature request actually says. Because Nudge today does not send text or photo flashes. It just sends a notification. So that's why I'm a little concerned that like what's actually being asked for is not what actually solve the problem. So anyway, that's something that we need to work through before that can actually happen. Also, if you're not getting the notification of when a game starts, I think that is the first thing we need to tackle. You should get the normal notification. If the chime isn't sounding, so there was an experimental feature added. I don't know if you know about this, but if you go to the experimental settings page, there's this tab keep alive feature, which is specifically designed to keep a tab alive so that the chime will sound, even if it's not the active tab. I'm wondering if this, I don't even know if this works, to be honest, because I haven't experimented with it enough. It's an experimental feature, but if this does work, this might actually solve the problem that you're having in this request. Notification is intermittent, but also people go answer the door or go out to the garden or whatever. Sure, that's fair. And I would also wonder if a better solution than allowing nudge is to send you a notification when you're about to be booted. Like more notifications. Like, hey, you're 10 minutes away, you're 3 minutes away from being booted. Oh, you're 1 minute away from being booted. And we could have those as options, of course. We don't have to do them. But like, to me, that's a better solution than requiring someone to click nudge, because if no one clicks nudge, then you end up just getting booted anyway. I would look into more automated solutions. I think those would be better solutions personally. So anyway, all those kind of things are things that I think we need to think through and talk through before we could do something like this. I'm not sure nudge is the best solution to that problem. Yes, more notifications, right. I think that would actually be a better solution than allowing nudge. Anyway, that's my thoughts on that issue. We can talk about this offline too if you want to talk about it more. But I think that's going to wrap it up for today's stream. So thank you everyone for watching. I hope this was informative. Thanks for hanging out and talking with us. I will refresh the forum one last time in case anyone posted last minute question. That's happened before. Where like I go through it and oh no, the last one is one I already did. So cool. Thanks you guys for watching, and I hope to see you at the next one. Have a great weekend.